I'm Darius McDermott, Managing Director of Chelsea Financial Services. Today I'm with Abigail Dean, who is Head of Sustainability at Nuveen Property Investors, who are advisors to the Janus Henderson Property Fund. Abigail, tell us a bit about the new policy that's been introduced with the 2030 target.
Well, we've set the target for the Janus Henderson Property PAVE to become operationally net zero carbon by 2030. We think this is ambitious but achievable, and in practice what it will mean is looking at all of the properties within the fund, assessing how complex and costly it will be for each of them to get to net zero carbon, and then starting to integrate that into their business planning over the next 10 years. We think this is what's necessary in the UK real estate market at this stage, and that buildings that are operationally net zero carbon will start to attract more tenants and become more valuable in the future.
And within the fund, there are lots of different types of tenants and hence different types of buildings. How do you expect that to work through?
Yeah, well, on a fund like this, tenant engagement is going to be absolutely critical for us to achieve this goal. Lots of the buildings in the fund are on single let leases, so if we don't have that buy-in from the tenants, then we simply won't achieve what we want to. We've been engaging with tenants on this for a number of years now, so we've been working with them to look at opportunities to put PV panels on their roofs. We've been working with them to share their energy consumption data with us and identify where there are opportunities for improvement, looking at things like the installation of electric vehicle charging points. So it's really going to be a continuation of that. Obviously different buildings lend themselves to different strategies, so in office buildings we'll be looking at things such as efficient heating, ventilation and cooling systems, technology to monitor when energy is being used in the buildings and optimise that, and things such as LED lighting. On the industrial and retail estates, it will be a greater emphasis on things such as solar PV, but it will be a case-by-case basis looking at what technologies and engagement strategies will get us there on each of the buildings.
And the UK Green Building Council is more than just about carbon emissions and net zero carbon neutral. It's about other issues like waste and water. Can you tell us a little bit about those type of ambitions?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of strategies already in place to reduce water consumption across the estate, and also to reduce waste and to look at minimising waste in construction and that kind of thing. So we've been working on that basis for a number of years now, monitoring waste and water, identifying opportunities to reduce it by installing water efficient technologies such as low flow taps and low flush toilets, looking at water harvesting wherever we can. So that good practice will certainly continue and absolutely be a core part of our strategy in the future.
So within your role, how do you engage not only with the properties but also with the fund managers who you work with?
Yeah, and that's really an absolutely fundamental part of my job, is to engage with the fund managers to understand what the strategies are for the funds and how they're looking to add value to the investors, and then look at what we can do in the sustainability team to enhance that. So we fundamentally believe that buildings that are becoming more energy efficient and getting closer to net zero carbon are going to be worth more in the future. So it's really about working with the fund managers to identify where there are opportunities for improvement, where we can take advantage of refurbishment cycles, for example, where we can engage with tenants during lease negotiations. So all of those kind of good asset management activities that they're doing anyway, how we can really enhance that and ensure that we're making the absolute most of the sustainability opportunities to future-proof the buildings and make sure they have value into the future.
And are there any other specific sort of sustainability initiatives that you're working on in the broader industry or with respect to the fund?
Well, with respect to the fund, we've gone through a process over the last year of looking at whether everybody employed directly or indirectly by the fund is being paid the living wage. So that's been a particular focus on contractors at the buildings such as security and cleaning and landscaping. That's something that we're really proud of. We felt that it was important to ensure that everybody who worked on the buildings was getting that living wage, and we're doing similar activities on other funds. More broadly, we're also looking at things such as biodiversity, looking to enhance that wherever possible, and looking at the actual dangers of climate change as well. So ensuring that we're not overly exposed to areas that are at risk of flooding, looking at how temperature is going to change in the future and making sure the buildings are resilient to those changes and are able to perform under the different climatic conditions that we're going to see.
Thank you very much. For more information on the Janus Henderson Property Fund, please visit chelseafs.co.uk.